Hello, beautiful people. Well, I wasn't expecting to do a part 5 of this series. However, just been getting so much information, and I noticed that the other parts are being watched. So I know that you guys are actually seeing this, and so here goes. Okay, so the moment of the autumn equinox in the UK is this evening at about 8:20. Maybe now is the time to find the exact time. Awesome little diaries, these. You can't see the cover. It's called it's from Astrocal, and it's an astrological diary. So 21 minutes past 8 this evening. Now, I've spoken quite a lot over the last few days about this leap from Pisces to Aries, and in the equinox we make the opposite leap from Virgo to Libra, but on Tuesday morning we did make that leap with the moon from Pisces to Aries, and it's felt a little bit like being in a bit of a limbo land since then. I don't know if it's felt like that for you. Like this sort of waiting period. What's going to happen? Where should I place myself? And because of my sore knee, I haven't had much choice. I've just had to sit quietly in my van. I can only walk about 30 metres. So I've been quite limited to being in my van, creating some videos, watching the beautiful weather, listening to some YouTube videos, that sort of thing, and just sort of being quiet. And it has felt very much like this sort of limbo land of moving out of a sense of definitely time. So I was just lying on my bed, resting my leg, and contemplating this experience at the end of Pisces. So that last 1 or 2 degrees at the end of Pisces, when the end is so close. And even closer, like when you're within a degree of the end of Pisces, when the end is really close. And where do we go to at that point? What state of being do we want to be in at that point? So I was lying, just being in that state, and then it suddenly occurred to me, of course Neptune is going to be at that point, not for a while, quite a few years yet, but Neptune rules Pisces. And because I've been an astrologer for quite a while, I've seen Neptune now move through quite a few signs. I remember Neptune in Sagittarius a bit, and Neptune in Capricorn, and Neptune in Aquarius, and now Neptune in Pisces, and you start to get a feel for how that Neptunian influence is coming through those particular signs. And Neptune's home sign is Pisces, and it only goes round the sun every 180 years, so it was 180 years ago that it was there before. and it won't be back for another 180 years. And then it comes to the end of that cycle, of the zodiacal cycle. And there's a new shift of awareness into Aries again. And I was like really being at this point and thinking, whoa. And reminded of that experience I had yesterday about the feather and the heart, and reminded of what Pam Gregory talks about when she talks about the plasma, and when her conversation with David Farrell, when he talked about the magical realm. And suddenly it was like, it's because we are at this transition point, and some people have obviously been there for ages. I mean, I'm sure Einstein was there in the 30s, and I think, people have always been there at different points. We all get there in our own time, in our own place. But at the moment, there's like these waves and waves and waves of people coming to that point where we're moving. The material reality that we've known is coming to an end. That all those healing modalities, here comes the end of Virgo, all those healing modalities that we have known, that focus that we've had on the very material, which is all about Virgo, it's coming to an end. Because we are coming into an understanding that we need to work at a higher vibration than the material. So if you think about spiritual, mental, emotional and physical, which most people have an understanding that we all operate at those 4 levels, the planet operates at those 4 levels, most people would understand that the spiritual level, the energy is very fine, it's very fast, it's very high vibration. And then as we come down the mental level, the energy starts to sort of slow down a bit, and then it comes to the emotional level and it slows down quite a bit more. And by the time it gets to the material energy level, the energy is very slow, hence we have our material world, because it's slow energy. But we're transitioning as a race, as a planet, as a universe. We're making this leap into this higher energetic vibration. Whether that's because we're going through this photon field, or whether it's because we've got all these solar flares, or whether it's because we're moving into the age of Aquarius, or whether it's because we've all been impacted by a virus, I don't know. All of these things, it's all relevant, it's all true. The point is that we're making this transition. We're making a quantum leap where we've created a vacuum which now we're drawing down into. Something new has to be birthed into that vacuum. In tarot, I would describe it as we're moving through the veil. And I could also see it as like moving into like a different field in space, like in a torus or something, a different vortex. In fact, Abraham Hicks and Esther Hicks have been talking about this for years, about the ability to manifest from our vortex. And so it doesn't actually matter how you describe it. Okay, we'll all have different ways of describing it, probably depending on where our Mercury is. But the point is, we all understand that there is a material realm, and we can hammer a nail in, or we can take a tablet to remove a pain. We can work at that material level. But we also are starting to understand there is an energy level that we can work at. people take homeopathy and flower essences and do Reiki healing. I mean, I think, most people have heard about Reiki healing or hands-on healing or things like that. We're starting to move more and more into that energetic realm. And then, of course, because of the popularity of the film The Secret, which is not quite the same thing, but it's piqued people's interest about the ability to manifest. Where do I have to position myself to manifest? Where do I have to place my awareness in order to manifest? And so I've been talking a lot about going into the imaginary realm, and that's just another way of describing it. Okay, so it's about this shift in our moving away from our thinking into a allowing, an opening, a curiosity, and asking questions. How does that work? Why is something like that? It's and allowing, people call them downloads. There's a download. It's like suddenly you go, oh, I get it. Or you get like a physical experience really strongly, or in a strong emotional experience, and you go, oh, what was that about? Yeah. So these are coming through stronger and stronger and stronger now. And they are like little seed bombs. They are like little seed bombs of experience. Yeah? Because we're about to move into Aries, where all these little seed bombs are like, which ones? Which ones are going to take off? Which ones are going to germinate? Yeah? Because Aries is all about that initiating. So we're in this phase at the moment of whatever you want to call it, the quantum leap, moving through a portal, moving through a veil, moving into a vacuum, however it describes it for you. And within it, we are so receptive. We are so receptive. So beautiful. Stunning. Beautiful. I love you all. Thank you so much for listening.